Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Arlathia. So for this one, we have comic page 14. So here is the extremely rough chicken scratch sketch, as you can see. In a second, hold on, let me get there. There we are. So it's that bottom panel. I have no idea what the hell's going on here. Half the time I don't anymore, so I'll just improvise, as you can see. So kind of here's where the direction I took it at. Because I did not know what the hell I did. But that's what happens when you do extremely rough, really fast sketches like that. You don't take the time to plan them out. You kind of just have to guess what you're doing. So that's what I did. So yeah, I kind of just decided where I wanted the story to go. So that's what I picked. So yeah, I think this helps advance the story along a little bit. Because now you're kind of getting more action in there. This one was a little fun to do. I liked how Kanan turned out. I thought he turned out really nice. I don't know, I'm trying to do like I guess more dynamic poses and trying some new stuff. So if it looks a little funny, that's why, because I don't normally do that. But I was trying to think about what they would be doing at this time with what was going on. So for this panel in particular, it's kind of like they have Wright coming after him. So I just kind of wanted her to kind of stop, turn around. Kanan's just looking at her like, what are you doing? But she just tells him to keep going, and he does. Because she's kind of going to stop him. And you'll find out why eventually. Because these guys don't normally deal with the Wrightons, which is what Wright is. So she's a little more experienced in them, so that's why she's going to take over. But overall, I do like how this little panel turned out. Yeah, I do. I think Kanan's probably my favorite part. Because even though he's little, I still like how I did it. So I'm trying to get like a nice balance between, depending on what size they are, when to do detail and when not to. This is kind of one of those times where I just added a little bit of detail, but not a ton. So that's where that turned out. But I don't know. I think his little ears were so cute. Because they're both up. Because normally he has one down and one's up. But I put them both up because he's kind of just like, what are you doing? It's kind of like his expression without saying anything. Because when he's like shocked or surprised, like both ears go up. Because normally he just has one up, one down. That's why he's got both. She's a little funny though. Because I was trying to figure out like how would she stop and turn around. So that's what I did with that. Yeah, a little interesting there. I know. It's probably not completely proper, but I was thinking like if she stopped, turn around, how's that gonna work? So then I was like, like the hair's gonna be flowing everywhere, and then like she's gonna have her hand out because she let go of his hand. That's not the proper hand though. But I was like, if you're turning around like quickly, everything's kind of flying because it's not as said to stop. But I was also trying to think of perspective because I don't do a lot of perspective. I just don't think it looks good when I do it. So that's what I was trying to do. That's why her tail looks really big in the foreground. So I was trying. So now this one's kind of special because this one is essentially a two-part panel. So that's why. So I'm actually going to color both here. I just didn't break it up because with this is like she climbed on his nose, which you haven't seen that panel yet, but she did. So now it's just like the kind of a face-off really fast. So I was trying to have it one where he's just looking at her. So she's gonna be a little more blurred out. And the second one, if you get her her view, if you will, like her, like what he sees, is what I was trying to do. Because I was like, let me see if I can make this a little interesting. Because originally I was gonna keep them separate, but then I was like, wait, technically they're the same. So I could make it special and just do a two-part panel. So that's what I did. Because I also like to try and show every panel with some stage was what I like to try to do just to kind of get the full view. To kind of see the differences it all goes through. But that's why for this is special. Just because it is a two-parter. And you also see like the little things flickering off of right. So they're special. They're almost essentially made of magic, if you will. So like they're doodads that, the red and brown thing like on him that are coming off of him kind of help keep him in place. So it's essentially like almost they're built. That's why I think earlier here I did say a few pages ago. Let me see if I can find it. But in one of the panels, I actually have Haven saying something about his batch. That's what that means. Is that they're made, so that's why he's saying something happened to his batch, because it's not good. What panel was it? Page 3. So a while ago, because this is page 14 now. So at least we're making some progress and moving along. But he does mention something about his batch, and that's what that means. So definitely a little bit different. So essentially they are born, but they're made. So they're like a little science experiment. Like that's just how they've been. So essentially like Haven's people make them. That's why they're hive leads. Like everyone's got a particular name. Like technically my little group, my 4 main peoples are Arlathians. So everyone's a little special, but you'll meet the rest of them later, like the rest of the races is what I call them. So you got species, but then you also have races, and like there's like 8 or 9 races. I think maybe more, because I'm coming up with them all the time. But you'll meet some of them here soon. It won't be till a little bit later, but they've already been. Well, technically, you have seen them a few pages ago. I did kind of like slightly put them in there. Oh, so on page 10, you actually see a tidbit of some of the other races. Even though I don't particularly say what they is. But they're there. Because you'll meet them eventually and they'll start talking about them and all this other good stuff. But I didn't want to say too much. So. But coloring Arlathia right here. Oof. Ugh, that took me a minute. Because I like to break it in sections, as you can see. So that way it's not so overwhelming while I do her. But I do that with all of them. I always break them up and do different things. It just kind of helps me to stay a little more focused on what I'm doing. And then Wright's face. So I was trying to like have half the jaw kind of like wider than the other side because he's growling. So also trying to like show that with like the eyes and the cheeks too. Because the left side over here, like the far left, is wider, but his eye smaller, just to kind of show like that side's open more. And then his right side over here isn't nearly as open. And I didn't want to have it like perfect across. Like I kind of wanted to do like asymmetrical. So that's what I did. It's not too bad. I was definitely trying though. So maybe in the future I'll get a little bit better about that, but I tried. Because I also don't normally do like face on things like this. Because they're kind of weird for me. But I was trying to do something a little different. Because I'm trying to make these all somewhere interesting too. With just like the pictures, not just like the story. So whenever I do these, if I do them over, it's because I think of a better pose. And I'm like, I want that instead. But with these I was trying. But as you can see, when I did my chicken scratch, I sat there and I'm like, what the hell? What did I do? So I just improvised and I was like, okay, well, seeing as to where the story is right now, where's it going to go next? So here's where we are. But yes, I am using pure black. Do I care? No. Because that's what I want to do. But it's just the way I do it is when I'm separating it, is I'll leave like a little line. And then when I go to color it with colored pencil, is I use like a gray for those lines. And I have like a purple for the highlight. So I'll put like purple, I'll do the gray, and then I'll do the black. So eventually when you see it and it's blended out, it actually looks really cool. I like how it looks. So that way it's not just like all black. And I feel like with that gray mixed in, it doesn't make it look like it is pure black. So for me, it's actually kind of nice. Like, it's cool. I like how it looks. You can actually see right here on the bottom of the page what I mean. Because you got that mixture of that purple, the gray, and the black together. So I feel like it just adds like a nice little touch. Also the grass. I can't do grass. You'll see in a few minutes. I tried. Like, you'll see on the bottom panel, I tried. I don't know. It's just like the way it's broken up and everything. I was like, oh, what's that new? I don't think so. But I also colored this panel in like 2 parts because it was long. And I'm trying to make it better to where it's like more zoomed in, if you will, so you can kind of get a better idea of what's going on. I'm sorry about this bush. I didn't realize I had pushed it over, and then I look and I'm like, oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Yeah. But yeah, that's where we're at. But not too bad. Uh, but I am trying to get better about grass, I promise. Like, I am doing the strokes. Like, I'm doing like a base and then doing strokes to try and help give it more of that grass effect. So I promise, I'm trying. It's just not going how I want. But that's okay. I was also improvising, so I forgot I switched over to Prismacolors, and I have like a color chart, if you will, for everything to keep it similar. And I didn't make a new one. I hate making them. So I improvised on what colors I was picking. So, you know, I do like it better with this just Prismacolor involved. Like, overall, just to me looks better. It looks almost a little brighter too, kind of. But yeah, you can see how I'm doing strokes. It does get blended out because I put white in there just to kind of push it back more, like you can see. But there's still strokes involved. So, I'm just trying to like do things to make them look a little better. I still got a long way to go, but I think I'm progressing slowly. Especially with these coloring pages, like, it's helping to progress. But yeah, this is also where it's like, I don't really put a bunch of detail in when they're this little, like doing that kind of thing. Like, I don't mind doing like the highlights, just make an outline and then like coloring them in like this. So that's why I'm like, I'm trying to find that good balance of when I need like all detail, semi, and then none. So that's why they almost look a little funny whenever I do this. You know, Kanan did not turn out very well. I don't know him. Um, but oh yes, this pink thing behind him is actually, I think I call it a hill because when I have my chart, I put down like random names. So I think this is a hill. That's what I put it down as. So yes, it's a purple and blue hill, or pink and blue, because I'm trying to like stray away from like some of the same colors that you normally see as much as possible. When we get into other places, the colors won't be natural. Like, they'll look a little funny, but that's okay. That's the point. Just when I was doing this, screen just came to head for grass, and I said no. But I try to put like, with the Prismacolors, I try and have like almost like a bluey green. I have a couple of those, so I'm trying to put those in there just to add a little bit more. I still hate grass though. It sucks. But I'm learning. Also, in the dirt patches, I'm also trying to add some grass in there. I don't know with my dirt patches. I gotta figure those out because they look a little funny. But I don't know. I just don't want like all grass. I think it looks boring. At least with dirt patches, it gives it a little more. Oh, but the way I do right here, right what you're about to see, I love how he turned out. I thought he turned out great. But you also see like how what I mean by when I do the purple, the gray, and the black. And when it blends, oh, it looks so nice. Like, that's definitely, I think, my favorite part of this whole page is the way he just turns out, because it's just very nice. It just blends very well together. That's also why I like my Prismas, because they blend. Some people don't like them, but I'm like, I do. I think, like, for me, they work very well. I think also just because I don't really blend out my markers, so it's like, it helps. But, you know, everyone's different. It's what it is. Yeah, I'm trying to finish. I call them scars. I don't know what to call them. His little doodads that kind of keeps them together. You know, I don't have a name for those. They're just there. That's just how I made them. But yeah, so I put the purple down first for the highlights, then I add the gray just for that nice transition, and then I add the black. But I also just use the gray just for those extra lines, which I'm putting back in, just to kind of help separate out the black more. But yeah, so you can see how they blend together, which is very nice. It just works, it's cohesive, it looks good. Alright, and here's the satisfaction part. Yeah, this is extremely dark. Well, Arlathia is just dark in general, and then so is Right because he is mostly black. But it's also just because of the way I have the light coming, because it's coming from behind them. So it's not directly on them. So they're being backlit essentially. I'm also trying to get better about like different light scenarios. So that's what I'm trying to do here, like is having him backlit. So I'm trying to think about like where the light's gonna hit him, where they're gonna be like darkest, that kind of thing. So I'm trying to do different things. I'm trying to learn. Do I do studies? Do I use references? No. I do my own thing because I don't care. I will not do them. I already know. I'm kind of lazy that way, but it's fine. Everyone's a little different, and that's what I like to do. So I just kind of figured out the hard way. You know, versus just using a reference like a normal person and then, you know, getting better. No, 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 no. Not me. We're gonna make it rough. We like it rough, you know? That's what this is. But every time I try and do something a little different, I'll learn a little more. Or just kind of add some new stuff in. But I think next time I do this, I'm gonna try and add maybe like yellow or something just for like light bouncing off of them. I think yellow is a good choice because it's lighter. To try and do that. Because I haven't really done that. But I'm gonna try. So we'll see what happens next time. But yeah, just not now. Not for near. Because I didn't really think about it till after, but I'm also wondering if the yellow is actually going to work. Or if I pick pink or something, just some random ass color. To try and help. I'll have to share. I didn't know. No promises. I also forgot. This is real time. So you can imagine what it's like when I'm actually got like something with detail. How long that takes. Because that takes me a couple minutes. So we'll see on the next page what I do. Because that one's actually going to have a little more action involved. Which is good, because I know that we want action. Because it's been a little slow going. So we need to add a little more. And that's the plan. Yeah, so we're almost done with this. I just got in the last little bit here, and then we'll be done. Yay. On to the next one. Okay, so here's the final reveal. So this is where a reminder from where we started, with ever this gibberish, and to where we ended. I'm very happy. I think it looks good. Like, even where it's colors down there, I know, sorry for the glare, I'm trying to figure out a different solution, but like nothing I do works. Still looks pretty good overall though. But if you want to see other pages, all the other 13, they're on here, and I think they're all in the playlist for my comics. Like, they're there for comics playlist or just Comics-Arlathia. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!